Here we go, number 8. Three halves times the quantity x minus 2 minus 5 equals 19. All right, what would be your first move here? Cannon, you could just keep yourself on like either one. That's what I would do. And I actually, for this one, I'll show you why I actually wouldn't distribute. Let's look at this. So 3 halves times x minus 2 equals 24. Okay. So you got that written down? Okay. You can distribute if you want. You can totally distribute if you want. You just have to deal with that fraction longer. Do you know another way? So since this 3 halves is multiplied by this whole side of the equation, what can I do to get rid of that 3 halves? Or to, I'm sorry, not to get rid of it, but to move that 3 halves to the other side. What can I do? See if this makes sense. I can multiply both sides. Nope. Well, look at what I'm multiplying by. I'm multiplying it by the reciprocal, right? I flip these numbers over. Here's why. Watch this. Watch this. Let me take this up here. And if I have 2/3 times 3 halves, I get 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. What does 6 over 6 equal? It equals 1, right? So what I did is I just got rid, I just made this equal to 1. I just made it equal to 1. So now right here, I have 24, which is the same as 24 over 1, times 2 over 3. So I get 48 over 3. So if I finish this, these cancel out. So I'm left with x minus 2 equals 43 divided by 3 is 16. I'm sorry, 48 divided by 3 is 16. So it equals 16. And then the last step, you know how to do the last step. You add 2 to both sides. And you get x equals 18. So Canyon, let me do it the way that you tried to do it also. So we get x equals 18. But what I'm going to do is I want to do it with the distributive, like you did it. Just so that you know that you can do it. You can still do it the other way. It just takes a little bit longer. But if that's what you know, then that's what you should do. So if we go back to 3 halves, oh, that's as far back as it's letting me go. Let's erase this stuff. Okay, if we go back to the beginning, 3/2. Oh, I'm still on eraser. All right, 3/2 times the quantity x minus 2 minus 5 equals 19. So like you said for your first step, absolutely. Let's add the 5 to both sides. So now we have 3/2 times x minus 2 equals 24. So we all got to there, no problem. All right, now you were talking about distributing the 3/2 through this problem. So 3/2 times x is 3/2 x. And then we have 3/2 times 2 is 6/2 equals 24. Now, what is 6/2? What does that equal? If you have 6/2 of like a pizza. No, it's 6 divided by 2. Three. So I now have 3/2 x minus 3 equals 24. What do I do? What do I do with the 3? Add it on both sides. 3/2 x equals 27. And now how do I get the 3/2 off of this side? So to divide 3/2 would be to multiply it by the reciprocal. So I multiply it by 2 over 3. And what I'm left with is x equals 27 times 2 would be 54. 54 divided by 3. And 54 divided by 3 is 18. Does that look like an 8? X equals 18. So both ways we got the same answer. We still had to multiply by the reciprocal. Yeah. I wonder if this will help. Let's look at this last step. 3/2 x equals 27. So if we have 3/2 x equals 27, if I want to take it in 2 steps, this is 3 times x, right? This is 3 times x. So I could divide this side by 3, divide this side by 3, and what I have is, what I'm left with is 2x. I'm sorry, that's not correct. What I'm left with is x over 2 equals 9. And then x divided by 2, I would multiply by 2. So those cancel out, multiply by 2, and I get x equals 18. So you could turn it into 2 steps. If you want to, when you have 3/2, you could divide by 3 first and then multiply by 2 second. So you could turn it into 2 steps if you want to. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, tired one. What's next? What are we doing? Number 7. -4 times the quantity 2z plus 6 minus 12 equals 4. One thing I would encourage you guys to do is if you're not on a problem, but I'm doing it on the board, you should follow along and write it down. And then you could check your work afterwards if you're not there. All right, Bree, what would you like to do first? You can, if you'd like, distribute. And what do you get? -8z minus 24 minus 12 equals 4. Awesome. What do you want to do next? Yes, I love it when students say that. Well, here, walk me through the rest of it anyway, since I'm going to put this on the review page. All right, -8x minus 36, nice, equals 4. My next step. All right, add 36 to both sides. And I get -8x equals 40. Nice. Divided by -8. Divided by -8. X equals -5. Oh, good job. Okay. Six equals 1/5 W plus 7/5 W minus 4. Okie dokie. What's your first step? Nice. Combine our like terms. The nice thing is our like terms have common denominators. So with the common denominators, that makes it a little bit easier. Actually, it makes it a lot easier. So we have 6 equals 1/5 W plus 7/5 W is simply 8/5 W minus 4. All right, what's your next step? Add 4 to both sides. Perfect. So I have 10 equals 8. This might help if I write it 8W over 5, 8 times W over 5. So you could do this next step. You could do 2 different ways, and it's up to you. How would you deal with it now? You can multiply the other side by 5 because right now it's divided by 5. So if you multiplied both sides by 5, that would cancel out. You got 50 equals 8W. And what's your last step? Nice, perfect. Divided by 8, divided by 8. And you're left with 50 divided by 8 equals W. There's absolutely a way to simplify it. They're both divisible by 2. So I could have 25 over 4 equals W. And then what I could do also is I could plug it into the calculator. I could do 25 divided by 4, and I get 6.25 equals W. All the exact same value. Nice, good question. What's next?